Welcome, good people, to the season finale, Power Book Force, episode 10, beginning of the end. We had to wait 2 weeks for this episode. I'm getting to this a little bit late. Deepest apologies. It's a lot of things to digest from this episode 10 episode. I wanted to make sure that it was right for y'all. Much appreciate the people that actually sit down and sit through the whole video. But without further ado, we're just going to get right up into this episode 10. Beginning of the end. We start off JP's funeral. Kate is confessing about leaving JP at a young age and gives all the credit to JP's father. A very, very emotional moment. And as they're leaving out of the church, we have Jenard and the rest of CBI staking out the church, looking to take out Tommy. And literally, like they deep. Literally, Tommy, Miguel, and the whole group, they're rolling deep. Like, we got cops, we got insane princes everywhere. Like, I think the more threatening thing to Jenard at that time was the cops in particular. Like, can't make no moves. They had to leave the scene and come regroup with another plan. Tommy goes to go get his car and bring it around, and he ends up getting ambushed by an Irish hitter hired by Vic Flynn, attempting to kill Tommy. Now, Tommy kills the hitter, the Irish hitter, and calls Vic right after and threatens Vic, like, look, I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you and your girl. Which, again, we discussed Vic over the past couple of episodes. Again, Vic, you have a life with a good-looking girl. Move on. You're doing the most. You're trying to be something that you're not. And like, that's just been literally just blowing me. I didn't even expect him to last this long, if we're being honest with you, but here we are. Next, we cut to a scene with Jenard and CBI mourning the death of Diamond. Raheem shows up to the scene, right? And Jenard starts questioning him, like, yo, where was you at when we was about to take out Tommy at the church? And then, he's thinking, you had a shot at Shanti, but you ain't take the shot. So, like, you moving kind of weird. Let me see your phone real quick. And Raheem's kind of being resistant, like, nah, I'm good, dog. This is my shorty, just be tripping. And on the spot, Jenard takes out Raheem. And he goes through his phone, and there he sees the text from Shanti about the whole thing about the church. Oh, by the way, we get a G Herbo sighting in this particular scene, which, hey, but don't be surprised. Like, everybody can be empowered these days, whether it be a big part, whether it be a little part. But I remember seeing Lamar Jackson in Raising Kanan, and I'm just like, yeah, sorry, Lamar ain't for me as far as acting's concerned. Like, I can't remember what exactly Unique said to him. He was like, what do y'all feed y'all Detroit niggas? Or something like that. And then Lamar said, New York niggas. And I'm like, damn. Yeah, we gonna have to work on that, Lamar. Like that, I ain't rocking with that. But anyway, moving on. Maria and Kate are at the house, and Maria's asking Kate, why didn't Kate tell Tommy about Maria wanting to leave Chicago? And Kate was looking out for Maria and her grandchild, like, look, I don't want to, Tommy's going through a lot right now, and currently sitting, I don't think he can handle having to deal with you right now, so I'm going to keep it to myself. And Maria says, like, look, I'm not going to leave, like I don't want to do that. So next, Kate meets with Tommy, and she tells Tommy that she's leaving New York, which Tommy is, but judging by Tommy's face, I feel like he's disappointed that Kate is leaving, but he's not going to state how he feels towards her, because I feel like there's just so much between these two characters, Kate and Tommy, where I don't think it's beyond repair, but it's going to take some time for them to repair their relationship. And I felt like with the death of JP, they would be closer. However, they decide they want to move forward after this season of Power Book Force. But you could see Tommy was having a tough time dealing with Kate wanting to leave to go back to New York. Soon after that, Shanti shows up at JP's house, and she tells Tommy that Raheem has been killed, and they left Raheem sitting right in the middle of a ring. So they pretty much don't have their mole inside of CBI. They don't know what's going on with CBI, what Jenard's moves are going to be. And Tommy suggests, hey, how about you go ahead and flip over there and try to get Jenard to tell you what his plans are. And Shanti's like, ain't no way he gonna see right through that shit. So next we cut to the scene with Bobby finally confronting Singh about Bobby seeing Singh hang at the restaurant with Chan, the Marquez acting lawyer. And he tells him straight up, like, look, I'm going to turn you in. But before I turn you in, I'm going to need you to set a trap for Tommy so I can arrest Tommy too as well. Singh negotiates like, look, I ain't doing it unless I walk away free. Because at least if I'm going to jail, they won't kill his wife, which is noble. He's looking out for his wife at the end of the day. But he was able to negotiate like, look, I'm walking free. You get Tommy. We can both be good people with this situation. You get your justice and we good. And Bobby agrees. Next, Shanti meets with Jenard. Which, to be honest, when we saw this preview before the episode came out of this scene with Jenard and Shanti, it looked believable. It looked so freaking believable. I'm like, man, you was right there when Tommy attempted to shoot Jenard, but accidentally hitting Diamond. So I'm like, yeah, dog. Like this, I didn't feel like this was very, very believable. If I'm being honest with you, it just, I wanted to save my disappointment for this episode, but I was very, very disappointed in the writing for a lot of parts during this particular episode, and this is one of them, where you're standing right there. You see the death of Diamond and Tommy shooting Diamond on accident. It just doesn't look right to me. I don't know. You guys let me know. But it wasn't. I did not like how they wrote this. I really didn't like how they wrote this. It seemed believable with Shanti telling like, yo, remember how we talked about us against the world? We're going to take over the whole city of Chicago. Yeah, we're move Diamond off the board, but we can't. I didn't want Tommy to kill him. I wanted us to kill him. And it seemed believable. But Jenard was attempting to, work his way back on to Shanti, but Shanti like, nah, we're going to keep this strictly business. So it seemed like they came to an agreement, but as soon as Shanti left, Jenard was talking to the rest of the members of CBI like, you buying that bullshit? He was like, nah, just try to use the pussy. That's what we doing. So he's like, nah, we gonna play her to get to Tommy. So Shanti meets back up with Tommy and she's like, nah, Jenard ain't rolling with it, so we gonna have to come up with another plan. And Tommy suggests getting the RDs involved since Shanti's attempt flipped to Jenard didn't work out. When they're having this conversation, Tommy gets a text from Miguel about a meeting with Che. And we get a scene where Che, Miguel, Tommy, and Ortega are all there. And Che makes the announcement. The Marquez and the Estrada cartel are merging. There needs to be consequences for the person that's causing all the problems in Chicago. Which they played it like it was Tommy. And then Che flipped it over and was like, look, Ortega's your kill. Go ahead and do your business. And Tommy takes out Ortega straight like that. And he ends up getting both cartels on his side. Again, the writing. I didn't like it. I'm not feeling it whatsoever for this particular situation. Like the build up for this was huge. And we just get like a couple of henchmen holding down Ortega and Tommy kills Ortega. I'm just like, bro, this is a very, very underwhelming season finale right now at this point. I'm like, this is very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. I'm disappointed. But we transition to a scene where Tommy meets up with Grayskull of the RDs. And Tommy tells Grayskull who really killed King Kilo. And Grayskull can't believe it at first, but come on now, connect the dots with this whole situation. Considering the fact JP, he is not a violent person. He's not gang related. What would JP have to do with King Hilo? And Grayskull ends up getting on board with Tommy, but he want to keep it on the down low. Tommy, in return, he wants Grayskull to report anything about Jenard as far as what his next moves are going to be. Tommy finally gets this meeting with Singh, and Singh attempts to get Tommy to confess about killing Stacy Marks. And Tommy ends up frisking him around, and he ends up finding the wire on him. And as Tommy's about to kill Singh, Bobby shows up, and they both have a stare down at gunpoint with each other. And Singh backstabs Bobby and shoots Bobby in the head. And Singh's telling Tommy, like, look, we're on the same side, bro. Like, we're working together. Like, this could be equally beneficial. And tells Tommy, like, look, hey, I'll clean up this mess. Don't worry about it. Go on with your business. So Tommy ends up leaving the scene. Jenard holds a coalition meeting, and Grayskull attends. And Jenard is spilling all the beans as far as, yo, we're going to be moving to that trees and lumber yard, and we going to play Shanti into getting to Tommy. And as they, like, Grayskull didn't even leave the meeting yet. He already telling Tommy what's good. Like, where they going to be ended up meeting at and everything. So Tommy gets the text message, and he meets with Miguel and Shanti. And Miguel's like, look, we're outnumbered. They got the whole coalition. I don't know if this is going to work. And Tommy's like, look, I'm going to make a call for more backup. And that's where we end up cutting into a scene where Tommy ends up making the phone call and doesn't exactly specify who he's talking to on the phone. In the next scene, Tommy goes back to JP's house, attempting to move Maria out the house to a different location. And he sees a note sitting on the table with a bottle of liquor of Maria telling him that she's just going to be in the way and she doesn't want to be a distraction. So she's going to take herself out of the equation for now until he settles things with Jenard. And which is a smart move, if we're being honest with each other. Like, it wasn't really explained the whole reason what happened in the last episode where she was trying to book that ticket, but I feel like this could be a good cover up for it, where, like, look, I wasn't attempting to leave because it wasn't safe for the baby, and I was attempting to leave because I didn't want you to be distracted thinking that you're going to have to protect us at all times, and I need you 100% on taking care of things. Which, again, way to clean it up with the writing. Way to clean it up. I like that. That's better. That's a lot better. But Tommy, Shanti, and Miguel end up ambushing CBI at the lumberyard, and Tommy ends up in a very, very close call situation where he's about to end up getting taken out. And at the very last moment before somebody shoots Tommy, we get our first shot at Tariq saving Tommy by taking out 2 CBI members, which, again, we knew this was going to happen, right? We knew Tariq was coming. Like, it's no surprise. Just how it happened is underwhelming. I'll say it's a little underwhelming. But we cut to another scene. Singh holds a press conference announcing that he is the acting district attorney, and he puts out the story that Bobby and Stacy Marks were both working together with the cartel and that they were dirty, which works out for Singh. Singh ends up getting a big promotion, and he looks like the big hero of Chicago by taking down the corruption in the office, I should say. We cut to Vic. He's sitting outside at the fireplace, and he's having a very, very emotional moment, considering the fact that he's drunk, and he's like, look, this quiet life with Ray is not for me. I am Victor Flynn. I need to go back and claim what is mine, which is Chicago. Which again, I really wish they just would have killed frickin' Vic when they had the chance, because him going this back and forth thing is getting on my nerves. Like, let's move on. Vic is done. I do not like Vic. Like, I feel like Vic is probably the most saddest freaking character in this particular show, because he tries to front and be something that he's not, and he's not. And he just ain't hard enough. He ain't got it in him. I feel like that is something that has been stated throughout the whole series, whether it be his father, whether it be his sister, whether it be his first girlfriend. Like, Vic is not about the life. It's crazy how we just end up keep playing around with this character. Like, it's just too much for me. Too much. So the rest of CBI run back to the basement of the barbershop, and Big Smurf and other members of CBI attempt to question Jenard's leadership. And they're like, look, we've been taking L's since you've been in charge. Maybe we ended up on the wrong side. And they like, look, we flipping over to Tommy. And there it is. Right there, the end of Jenard's reign as the head of CBI. Again, the writing. I'm not rocking with it. Like, we could have did something a little bit more dramatic than this. A little bit more dramatic. Like, it's crazy how this episode and the turns in this episode for me. That's me. That's just me. But we cut to another scene where we have Tariq and D-Mac. They're having a moment together at the bar, talking about their fathers. And D-Mac is like, yeah, I got Tommy. Like, he's very, very important to me. And one thing that I'm peeping about Tariq, now, obviously, I can see on his face that he feels guilty about killing Ghost. But also, he be giving out some sketch looks throughout this episode. Every time we get a close up with him, he be giving out some very, very sketch looks. So I don't know what Tariq is plotting, but I don't like it. I really don't like it. But in the process of this conversation, as Tommy is pulling a bullet out of Miguel's leg, the rest of the CBI members show up, and Miguel and Shanti give the head nod like, look, we could take them in, like, it's cool, and we can strengthen our group. Next, we have Vic showing up at the barbershop as Jenard is just sitting at the table in the basement by himself, and they both agree to taking out Tommy. Now, remember, 2 episodes ago, I said, I really wish I clipped this too. It's in the video though. I remember I said Jenard somehow was going to make it out of this. And it was just too good to be true. There was no way he was dying. No way. No freaking way he was dying. And all and behold, he make it. So we cut to the next scene where Tommy announces that Shanti is the head of CBI and everybody needs to report to Shanti. And Tariq and Tommy speak outside. And Tariq is like, look, again, Tariq and the manipulation thing is getting old. Tariq pretty much is like, look, you're doing a great job here in Chicago, but we all know that you're a foot soldier. You know, this leadership thing really ain't for you like that. So I'm having some issues in New York. I need a new partner. Can you come back to New York and be my new partner? What happened? Like, what happened? Like, let's think about this for a second. And I said that I wanted to make a separate video about this, but this is the scene that sets up the show that they've been kind of keeping on the down low, Legacy, which we kind of knew that it was going to be something with Tariq and Tommy. But if you really think about it, Tariq really regresses as a character. I'm thinking Tommy got ran out of New York. He's supposed to be dead. and him going back to New York, taking Morel with him. What the fuck? I don't know. This it's a lot of things to digest here, and I do want to make a separate video for that. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I put some serious thought into that whole D-Mac and Marshall thing too. There's going to be a video for that too, because y'all been tripping. So I definitely we're going to revisit that soon. But that's episode 10, beginning of the end. And again, it was just underwhelming for me. But let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is the Movie Fanatics. I'm up out of here, man.